Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about Forex versus binary options and actually more specifically I want to talk about like in terms of the profitability aspects and like what's better. There's a very common comparison that people love to make, and these can be found on forums, the bulletin boards, the Quoras, the Reddits, and so on and so forth. And a lot of people like to rubbish binary options and say that it's like a coin toss. Is if it's 50-50, if you win, you get like, based on today's return rates, 92%, but if you lose 100%, so you're technically still losing 8% on average every single time. But that's not totally true. It's a very short-sighted comparison, because what you really need to do is you need to have a strategy that is winning more than, again, the percentages have reduced. So you probably need it to be 70% accurate and above. If I could calculate more precisely, it would be probably a 60 something, maybe 66-ish or 67. But now that you can get payouts as high as 92%, for example on pocket option OTC, which is fully technical analysis friendly, even has patterns like Elliott wave inside of it. With these kind of payouts, your win rate can even go down and you can still be profitable. And plus, if you use like a money management strategy like martingale with a strategy that is accurate, then you don't even need to expose yourself to a lot of risk. Now, let's compare this with Forex on the other hand. The most common thing that people love to say that Forex trumps binary options, which again, for those of you watching this video, I know you're probably looking for reasons to prove that binary is better than Forex, but again, let's explore this very common comparison that people love to make between Forex and binary. They'll say that with Forex, you don't need to be more than 50% accurate to be profitable, and that is true because of the return rates in Forex. By going in, like let's say for a trade that you win, maybe you are 1.5 times, you're getting a 1.5 times the amount of risk on a winning trade, or getting even up to like 2 times on a winning trade, and when you lose, you're just losing like 1x of your stop loss point. So if you are maybe even 40% accurate, you still can be profitable. So this is one aspect about Forex trading that I do not want to dispute, because there's actually truth in that. But we need to recall that there are certain parts of the year, let's say it could be economic tensions such as elections, epidemic such as COVID, as we know, change the market in a huge way, and it could be getting to certain times of the month that everyone is just waiting for something to happen, waiting for some kind of a central bank intervention. And during those times, the market movements is so tight. And when it is so tight, Forex is actually a very stressful thing to do, because you could be getting stop hunted again and again and again, and you could be seeing a loss streak, or you find that you have to increase your lot size in order to compensate for the smaller stop loss, and then even so, maybe taking a long time to realize a profit. So there is heavier stress. Now, a lot of people also love to comment that in Forex, when you trade, they say that in binary, when you lose, you don't really know where your money is going. It's okay. In binary options, they call it the all or nothing option. So all or nothing is like, for example, if you win, then you win. If you win by 0.000001 fifth decimal place, it's still a win. And if you lose by a fifth decimal place, it's a loss. In Forex, it's not that way, because in Forex, there is a spread involved. Nowadays, brokers have very competitive low spreads. They call it the ECN spreads. And one thing you need to know though is that if the market is very tight and the movements are very small, there are times of the year where the range in a whole hour can be just 5 pips. And on top of that, I also want to remind you before the New Zealand market opens for Forex, the spreads are often higher as well. And we're talking about sometimes spreads as high as 6 on some of the exotic crosses, like the pound yen, for instance. And to be able to bridge those gaps, and sometimes you may have a take profit for a trade, but just because of the spread, it did not hit your take profit, it went totally against you. I'm sure you can relate to that. So what I really meant to say is that for the same amount of time put into binary, there is no way that you can get the same result in Forex. You can't simply look at realized profit from one session to the next. For example, in binary, you can go sit in front of a terminal for like 20 minutes and get X number of net wins. Or let's say if you are struggling that day and you find that okay, you got 6 wins, 4 losses, and then you just feel like you want to sit out or something, that's perfectly fine as well. But the best part is that when you stop, it stops. Nothing else is open, nothing there is unknown. Also, you are limited on every trade size. Means that you cannot lose more than you stake on that trade. But in Forex, it's different. In Forex, if sometimes the market is not moving, first you have the spread to cover. So you don't want to also keep giving money to the broker by just paying spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads. It doesn't make too much sense. So chances are you will at least have your trades open for going to be a good part of an hour, a couple hours, and all that's exposure. Okay, I want to remind you that many years ago, you can go back in history and check it out. There was a time when the Swiss franc was pegged against the euro, and that created a huge, was it 1,000 or was it 1,200 pips movement within minutes, and it was not even widely publicized. So you could have said that traders were just scrambling, and I personally recall that incident as well. I was just too lucky to have opened my laptop at that point of time. This was many years ago, and was able to just put a hedge on the trade, and fortunately able to get out with a very tiny loss of like $50. But it could have been much worse if I did not realize that it could have been a margin call situation. So to be able to say that in Forex it's like safer, it's not really safer, because you can actually lose more than your account. And there are stop losses, but stop losses are not everything. And there are things that happen, such as stop hunting movements that happen. So even in my recent videos on binary options, when you look into the Ikumoku trainings that I did, I was comparing the charts for the live Forex charts and the OTC charts, and I showed you how the OTC charts on pocket option are even smoother than the real Forex charts, which is kind of interesting. And had you been on those real Forex charts, sometimes the price is just like gapping if you're on a 5 seconds chart, and what do? That was Forex. So imagine it was Forex and you're just getting gapped, and you went to your profit target or your stop loss, but for whatever reason there was a price gap and you could not exit the trade. So these are some of the woes of Forex. The point of me saying all this, I'm not really out to rubbish Forex and to say, oh, binary options is great, Forex. No, but I want to just give a very fair apples to apples comparison. And finally, there are also some people that have this notion that with binary options, some people just outright call binary options as scams, and on the other hand, they will think that Forex is safe. The real problem these days is not so much of that anymore. I would admit that this was a problem in the past, and the good thing is that the regulators in the industry, especially those in Europe, and the US, have cleaned out a lot of those not so good brokers, the bad actors, the people with bad intents, the ones that when you deposit, they make it hard for you to withdraw. Either upsell you and disqualify you on your withdrawals because of bonus agreements and this and that, and those that manipulate price. So you can say that the whole industry has been flushed, and now the problem is very opposite. So for example, even here in Binary Lab, the problem that we have nowadays is that as you know, I have a few brokers these days. Basically the ones that I promote, I can even name on one hand. For example, we have like pocket option, we have IQ option, we have Quotex, and that's basically it. Quotex used to be IFMRRC regulated, but apparently they decided to not renew that license, and now they're technically an unregulated broker, but then again, they have good feedbacks in the market. Pocket option is still IFMRRC regulated. It's an offshore regulation, and there are good on withdrawals. IQ option, everyone knows IQ option. IQ option is very good withdrawals and very good customer support, multi-language support. The binary option brokers of today, they have a totally different approach from those of the past. The binary option brokers of today are like self-serve basis, so they give minimum deposit levels. They do not upsell you. They do not hunt you down and chase you with salespeople or fictitious names who is maybe named John one day and Steven the next, and so on and so forth. But these terminals these days, like Pocket Option, IQ, Quotex, they're all, it's just so systematic. It's so efficient these days. And for instance, like now USDT is one of the very popular withdrawal methods, because with the ERC20 protocol, or even the BSC20 protocol, the TRX protocol, it's so fast to deposit and to withdraw as well. It's not like what it used to be in the past, where they could ask for verifications upon verifications. Now if you're verified, it's basically set. Okay, so that's also why I usually recommend that, for example, if you want to cross over to Binary Lab, I'll say, okay, this is, if you have an account with a, for example, like Pocket Option, you need to close your existing account, open one over here, and then get it verified before depositing any money. Why? Because you don't have any problems with verifications that can cause any complications. These days, when people want to transfer, let's say it's Pocket Option, IQ option as well, and if they have any issues with verification whatsoever, sometimes it's because the previous accounts are probably closed down. Provide me with both account numbers. I can speak to the affiliate support. They can assist you on that as well. So these days, it's the industry has cleaned up so much compared to in the past, that I think that binary options really has a very level playing field with Forex. Gone are the days of manipulations. I mean, Olin Trade used to be a really good broker, but as you can read in my recent review, they're not so good anymore. Not what they used to be in the past. Maybe it's a change of management, I don't know, but there's like some very uncool delays and price manipulations. For those of you who tried Pocket Option, IQ option, basically what you see is what you get. The demo and the live don't function any different at all. They're just the same exact way. Quotex too. These three, I think they're very solid. So if you're tuning into this video and you're considering like between Forex and between binary, maybe you have been trading binary for some time, and maybe right now you're thinking of going bigger, but all these people in the background, they're like advising you, hey, you want to do this, you want to do Forex instead. Think of why we even came to binary in the first place. I think most of you have very special reasons for binary. Most of you like the fact that it's way more short-term, way more limited in risk, and way more immediate gratification. And a lot of you don't like to hold your trades through the night because it's stressful sometimes. So if you hold it through the weeks, you don't like having to monitor stuff, and you like the fact that you can withdraw very frequently too. Because you just think about it, if you're like in binary options, if you can make say 2% per day, or let's say 6% per day, and then per week you're already making what? You're making quite a nice amount against your deposit. And if you wanted to make the same kind of gains in Forex, it's just going to be very tough. But if not, you just could put yourself with so much leverage and so much risk. If there's like a big market move, and there was like price gaps, and there was like slippages, you're basically quite screwed over. So I hope this video provides a good analysis and a comparison between Forex and binary. I have done both Forex and binary in the past. So I feel that I thought I could give you my 2 cents worth on this. And if you have any questions or additional feedbacks, do comment them beneath this video in the comment section. Looking forward. Bye for now.